Hey everyone, it's Icy. I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, and safe. It's been a while since I last did a coverage video, mainly on Rejuvenation and Reborn. Actually, it's been a long time since I've done any coverage on Reborn. So, I'd figured it's time to cover some of the more recent dev updates, and by recent, I mean it's been a month and a half, 2 months on some of these updates. But they're pretty good, so I'm going to quickly go over them. So we're going to be starting off with Rejuvenation, and also I should probably mention, but in the future, coverage updates are probably going to have multiple games clumped in with them. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. So starting off with Rejuvenation, these are literally right after the last coverage update I made on it. So this was in December, late in December, and this is just showcasing, talking about how in version 13 we're probably going to be dealing with Angie. Once again, you know, you see a little bit of Zumi's art right here. It's cut off for the most part, but I presume that's Angie right there. And it mentions that Aaron, Cannon, Damien, and Alexandria split up from the group in search of something, and that Aaron and Cannon get separated from Alexandria and Damien. Alexandra. I just realized I was saying Alexandria. Sorry, I was probably rushing. So we have a whole bunch of screenshots right here. I presume it's going to be really puzzly, and it's going to be really story-based, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The second set of screenshots right down here is a look at the redone Route 3. Jan mentions that he had a lot of trouble working on Route 3, but he redid it so now that the grass change from Route 3, the regular Route 3 grass, into Golden Leaf is a little bit more gradual, which looks really, really cool. I think if you look at the bottom right screenshot, compared to the screenshot directly to the left of it, you can get a better idea of what he means. Because in this bottom right screenshot, it looks like you have the regular green grass, right? In the left one, you have a slightly lighter, and you can see slightly lighter patches next to it as well. So I presume that's what he means. He also mentions that the Faisal Cave has multiple entrances now, which, I mean, it already did technically, but it has even more, I'm guessing. And the trainers are a little bit more spread out. And of course, we have the screenshot right here. I think that's Rin in one of the main characters around a campfire, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but we kind of knew this was coming. We knew that the early game was getting redone quite a bit. I'm not sure how many of the functions are changing though, because in the upper middle screenshot, you have the sort of circus, I don't want to call them a circus, but circus vendors, and I'm not sure how much they're going to change. Or in the upper right screenshot, you have sort of the Polywag area in the Faisal Cave, which previously you kind of surfed over to. I'm not sure if you still do that or not. So again, I'm not sure how much of that has changed. Also, something interesting to mention. So, I mentioned that I was going to kind of miss the old Route 3 because in Where Love Lies, which is the side game for Rejuvenation where you play as Kenneth and whatnot, I mentioned that Route 3 was pretty important because when you played in Where Love Lies, you played in an older area of Avium. So, you saw Route 3 before it was what it was in Rejuvenation. You saw Golden Leaf Town before it was as it is in Rejuvenation, and so forth. And Jan actually replied, and he said he's considering going back to Where Love Lies in the future and updating it, not just to fix the map inconsistencies, but as well as to add Generation 8 to it, which is really, really big. So I'm actually really hyped for that. Anyways, if we scroll back up, the last thing that they had on this update was music. Actually, there's been more dev updates than the two I'm going to point out for Rejuvenation. A lot of them have been Zumi's art, a lot of them have been Zumi's music. It's really, really good stuff, and I was tempted to actually extend this stuff and shove it in the background, but then I thought about it, and I didn't want to go through the hassle of requesting permission. I really didn't want to go through the hassle of actually fixing it up either. And besides that, I wanted to keep this a little bit spoiler free. This will be linked below in the description. So if you want to go have a listen, but I'm not going to force you to. So if you want to wait until you actually play the game to hear it, then you can. So the next update we're going to be talking about is over here, and it came literally a day after Christmas. It doesn't have that much. It's mainly talking about why version 13 was taking so long and what was going on with it. So Jan drops a little bit more information on the story. So right here we're told that there's 3 different segments and 3 different groups that are going to be moving around during version 13. So we have Melia, Rin, and Vinam, which is cool. It's like the old squad is together. We have Aaron, Cannon, Alexandra, and Damien, which we kind of knew. And then we have the player and Alita. So each group is on the hunt for something, and about that, we're not really sure what's going on. So he also mentions that main story 1 and 2 is one version, Aaron and Melia's segment is one version, player and Alita segment is one version, and the epilogue is half a version. So version 13 is roughly a little more than 3 versions worth of content, apparently. Not to mention they're adding Generation 8 and whatnot. And he also included a bit of a flowchart explaining how the story is going to path out. So to explain this flowchart simply, you have the main story, starts off right there. And then you have a choice. You either go to Aaron's path right here, or you go into Melia's path. And then once you do either Aaron or Melia's path, you do the other one, and then you flow on down and you complete either the player's path or Alita's path, and then you do the other one, then you flow on and you finish the main story. And that's probably how it's supposed to go. So again, he mentions that this is being cut into 2. We will have version 13, and then we'll have version 13.5, which will have side content and things like that. It's not really a big deal. I don't think he mentioned any release dates. So again, we're still going on the concept that version 13 is going to get released in spring sometime. My prediction was late February, sometime in March, which is going to be next month, but spring encompasses a lot. Spring could be April, it could be May even, so we don't really know. So that's just my guess. And that's basically everything I have for Rejuvenation except for one thing. So I'd like to introduce you to Pokemon MemeJuv. So if you're having trouble waiting, then this mod is perfect for you. This is a mod that kind of transforms the games. It adds a lot of functions, it adds new forms of Pokemons, it adds new crest even, and it's also kind of like hard mode. I assume it's also really memey. It was named after the old meme version, MemeJuv, which is a similar mod just for Pokemon Reborn. So it gives you a bunch of different fights, it changes the difficulty, adds other content. It's really cool. Like, I'm scrolling down through some of the screenshots right here. All of this looks really... I don't want to say it looks amazingly polished. I mean, some of it actually does. Like, look at that Dusknoir. But a lot of it's just kind of fun, basically. So if you're looking for something to do in the meantime, something to enjoy yourself with Reborn, or Rejuvenation, sorry, I'm getting them confused. We'll be talking about Reborn in just a second. Then have a look at this mod, because it looks like a ton of fun. I actually haven't had time to personally play it yet, but hopefully I'll get a chance pretty soon. So we're done with Rejuvenation for now. Now it's time to talk about Reborn. So Pokemon Reborn doesn't drop a lot of development blog updates. Like, sometimes they do, and it's kind of just a meme. They do meme updates all the time. But this one is serious. When they drop serious updates, they're huge, they're lengthy. So this update was dropped in January 21st, so it's about a month old. Yeah, I know, I'm a bit late to the party. It mentions that as of the post, so as of last month, they started working on Reborn probably about a month and a half ago before that. So probably around the start of December, which sounds fitting. Also mentions that Cass and Ame had just moved, so obviously they kind of had been spending their time moving and they hadn't really been working on Reborn. They added 2 new developers, which is pretty cool. I hang out in the Discord, so I kind of noticed these people and I kind of expected it. Like, you knew it was going to happen. So this blog update is basically all about the post-game. So if we scroll down here, they're mentioning the Battle Point store. And, I mean, it happens. It's in every Pokemon post-game. You go through something like a battle tree, you collect battle points, you spin them, you buy items, you know how it goes. They mentioned they're not adding Generation 8 Pokemon to Episode 19 for now, at least. But they also mentioned that they're adding some of their quality of life features, which is amazing. So this screenshot shows the mints. These are the mints from Generation 8. They change your nature. So for instance, I give an adamant mint to one of my Pokemon. It gives it an adamant nature. They're so much cheaper than in the Generation 8 games, and I love that. So they have the mints. They have the large experience candies, which you could buy at like 20 at a time, which is amazing. You also have the ability capsules and a selection of competitive grade items. We know how that goes. And before they even talk about the other facilities, they also mentioned that each of the following facilities are level locked to level 100, and no matter what, you get battle points should you beat them. So I'm just going to scroll down quickly. We have the Battle Pavilion, which is basically their version of the Battle Tree, or the Battle Tower. We have the Battle Factory, it's another staple. We have the Rush Challenge, Theme Teams, and Mix and Match. So let's start with the Battle Pavilion right here. So again, this is basically on the nightclub's dance floor. I don't know if you've checked out Andre Cass's YouTube channel, but she has a video there showcasing you facing off against Madame Meganium, which is crazy. It's amazing. So the first thing they mention is that canonically, in Battle Towers in the regular games, there's a slow period where the Battle Tower builds up the challenge, where you start off against low base stat Pokemon with poor sets, useless items, things like that, and it slowly builds up. Reborn's Battle Tower is not going to be like that. It's going to come at you hard, it's going to smack you like a freaking baseball bat, it's going to be rough. The Battle Tower has 3v3 singles and 4v4 doubles, kind of expected. And it also has the 7 trainer cap, so this is probably closer to like the Battle Subways format or the previous Battle Towers before that, where you have a set of 7 trainers and then you have a mini boss right after that. Places like the Battle Mason and the Battle Tree, which is Gen 6 and Gen 7 respectively, and I think even Generation 8's Battle Tower, none of them had that 7 trainer format, but the previous games did. And examples of the bosses are going to be stuff like the local game leaders, Corn Rogue, Madame Meganium, which we've already seen. And fields are potentially enabled. So what this means is each match will take place with a random field effect, but you don't have to do that. You can actually turn the field effects off, but your battle point reward will be higher if you turn them on. Next up, we have the Battle Factory, so this is big. The reason this is big is because originally Pokemon Essentials apparently has an implementation of the Battle Factory straight from Sinnoh, but apparently it was broken. But then one of the developers, Toothpaste Fairy, that's a classy name, he showed up. Actually, I don't know if he's a developer, but this person showed up and he was like, yo, I fixed this. You guys want this? And they were like, yes, of course we want this. So you have Rentatine, which has 1,600 Pokemon sets, almost, which is amazing. And as per usual, after each battle, you can choose to swap one of your Pokemon with your opponents. You have 3v3 singles and 4v4 doubles. And you have 3 modes for this. So this is something that kind of weirds me out. I just want to point this out. So you have classic mode, which is no field effects. And as per usual, you'll get a hint about what kind of team your opponent has. You have set field mode, which is one random field effect will be chosen and used for the entire 7 battle set. So that's something that weirds me out, is that set field mode doesn't seem to exist for the battle tower. I mean, I'm not really sure, it's just weird that it's not there. And then, of course, you have random field mode, which means that every battle will have a different random field effect, and you'll find out before the fight so you can adjust and whatnot. So again, that's only something that weirds me out. Like, I'm not really complaining, it's just weird that that the middle ground of set field mode just isn't there. Anyways, next up is going to be the Rush Challenge, and it says that after a certain point in the postgame, this will be available. So I'm assuming what this means is it's not available instantly. Whereas usually things like the Battle Factory and the Battle Tower, like as soon as you can get to those areas, those are available. But I don't think the Rush Challenge will be. I think you'll have to do certain events to unlock it. And basically what it is you face all the surviving gym leaders in a succession, and you'll be healed in between, but they will also have a legendary on their teams each time. Their teams are going to be hardcore, it's going to be amazing. And apparently, that's not all. They even have a hard mode of this, and if you unlock the hard mode and take it on, there won't be any limits on the legendaries. Of course, I assume this goes for us as well, so the first time around we can probably have a legendary, and the first time around they will have one legendary on their team as well. And then the second time around, we can just go in with a full team of freaking Ubers. That's kind of what I'm assuming. Maybe not, though. Then we have theme teams, and this is basically where the failed boss rush teams went, except they're available. So, from the screenshot here, we can see some of them. We can see Julia, we can see Shelly, we can see Sierra, we can see Luna, Samson, DJ Arclight, Victoria. So we can take them on, and some of them are wacky. Like, there's a rock team from Murkwater. Apparently there's Mono Bug on Glitchfield, things like that. It's pretty crazy. And they are eligible for battle points and even hard modes, apparently. Also, the bottom text right here says that apparently the characters in the above image are randomly selected. So I don't know if this means potentially that there are more options here that we're not seeing, and if there's some weird conditions to make them occur or appear, or what's going on with that. And finally, we have Mix and Match. So Mix and Match is basically you pick your opponents, and you even pick your partner, although your partner also depends on who is alive and who you have relationship points with, which I'm okay with that. That sounds pretty fun. You can also choose not to have a partner and just go full 6 versus 12 if you really want to. It'd be like the Glass Factory all over again. You can tell they've been doing serious work on this, and they also mention as well, certain trainers didn't have a back sprite because we never teamed up with them before, so they never really needed it. So people like Crimson and Smeargletail, which by the way, he watches these videos sometimes you see him in the comments and whatnot, so good job, man, good job. But people like those two had been working on the back sprites and doing a lot of work for this game. So it's been amazing. Like, I'm looking through all these screenshots and it looks amazing. I can't wait to get into this. So the final paragraph just says that there's going to be other events, such as the entire quest hub in the nightclub. But these are the main battle facilities, and most of them are just about set and done. I think they're starting to work on quest now. So there's no ADA on this. They didn't give us an estimate on when this will be done, which is completely fine, but you can already look through these screenshots and you can tell a lot of work has been done. And it looks amazing. Again, we kind of knew some of this was coming. Like, you knew about the Battle Pavilion, kind of. Like, we've seen that video. It's still out there, actually. Actually, here it is if you need a reminder. It's been out since 2019, but it's still pretty cool. So you can see here, we're walking up, and then there it is, freaking Madam Meganium. It still shocks me. So that's actually really, really cool. I really, really like these updates, and I'm glad that they finally dropped this big development blog on us. Again, Reborn doesn't usually drop a lot of serious development blogs on us. It's kind of occasional, but when they do drop them, they are massive. So let me know what you think of these development updates, and I will most definitely catch you all on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.